hamstrings, hamstrings, hamstrings. We're going to be working on a hamstring stretch today, and this is so cool because most people have tight hamstrings. Whether you're into sports or weightlifting or sit at a desk all day, chances are your hamstrings could use a little bit of love. I'm going to show you one stretch you've probably done at some point in your life, but I'm going to give you two variations that will help spice it up a bit and offer something a little bit different. Now, all that you need is 2 yoga blocks. But if you don't have yoga blocks, you can be creative and use a stack of books, especially something big like a dictionary or a textbook can work great. You may not need any props at all, but for the purpose of this video, I'm going to show you with the blocks. So here we go. The first thing I'm going to do is get into a sort of classic runner stretch. And this is what I was talking about before, that you've probably done this at some point. I'm going to start with my right leg forward. I'm going to be propped up on my heel with my other leg behind me. So right now I want you to be able to see my back leg. And when we start this position, we want the back leg to be more or less straight. What we don't want to do is sit back into that quad. So I don't want that quad to be working at all. I want it to just be in kind of a neutral position. I'm going to take my blocks in the tallest setting, one on either side of me. I have my front toes pointed up. Now you certainly could leave them relaxed or pointed, but if you rock back on that heel, it's going to engage the calf muscle and it's going to give you some extra stretch, which will be good. Next thing I want to think about is folding forward until I feel a stretch in the calf and hamstring and trying to keep my back straight. Don't worry about how far you fold. Make the focus of the stretch being the sensation you feel and coming to a point that feels comfortable enough to hold, but not so intense that you can't wait to get out of it. So with my blocks in the tallest setting, I'm just leaning forward and oh, there it is, right there. You may find that you want the blocks on the middle setting, which will bring me into it a little bit deeper, maybe the lowest setting, or you may not want blocks at all. So that's the stretch. You may find that you can't go into this stretch without having some amount of rounding in the back, and that's okay. Try to minimize it as best as you can. Using the blocks or some kind of support will help minimize the rounding in the back. Now here are the 2 extra pieces that I told you about before that I was going to show you. I'm going to switch legs for this purpose. So I'm going to take my left leg forward. So I may start off with a regular stretch. Yep, I did do a leg workout at the gym today, so this is really good for me. Ooh, okay, now the other thing you can add to this stretch is walking to the inside of the leg. So I'm kind of opening, I'm sticking my hip out back and I'm finding I feel more of a stretch in the inner thigh and groin. And if you're using blocks, feel free to kind of take them with you underneath your hands. And then if I walk to the outside of the leg, I'm going to take the blocks with me. Whew. Now that introduces a whole new dimension of stretch. For me, I'm feeling this a little bit more on the outside of my lower leg, a little bit in the hip as well, which is welcomed. So you can hold that as well. Even if you didn't have blocks and you're just on your fingertips and you just walk your hands to the inside of the leg, again, the hip and the butt are going to stick out behind you a little bit, that's fine. And then walk to the outside. Ooh, wow, yeah. Okay, and then come back to the center and then pull that knee back underneath you. So that's the gist of it. It's a classic hamstring stretch, folding straight forward and then turn to the inside of the leg and then rotate a little bit to the outside of the leg. And see if that gives you another wonderful benefit to this stretch. So I hope that this has helped you. If you have any questions or comments or a topic you'd like me to do a video on, please leave it for me below. Thank you so much for joining me. I'll see you soon. Thanks.